What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Alien 3. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo. If you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you have come to the right place. And like I said, today we're talking about Alien 3. So without further ado, let's get into the review. We are at the third installment of the Alien franchise, and perhaps maybe the worst to a lot of people. Definitely probably one of my least favorite for me, but I still want to go ahead and give you all my thoughts as we're getting ready for Alien Romulus. I am a little behind, so you're going to see an influx of Alien reviews coming in this week in preparation for Alien Romulus. But let me know what you guys think about the Alien franchise in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts about Alien 3 in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my pros. Now, starting off with the pros, I do enjoy the change of setting that this movie kind of takes place, where in the first two movies, we're on a corporate spaceship. We're going to this kind of exoplanet out in the distant universe where we, find ourselves going against some xenomorphs and stuff. And a lot of the later half stuff is, again, on like the more nicer corporate spaceships, where in Alien 3, we're on this planet where it's basically a giant prison, where it's a much more gritty feel. We're in an environment that is a lot dirtier, doesn't feel very corporate, feels very rugged and kind of grimy and gross. And it's kind of a little bit of a nice change of pace, where we're not just kind of redoing the same thing over and over again, where we're going to a planet, fighting some xenomorphs, trying to save someone, move on. This definitely feels a lot more grounded, a lot more gritty and grimy. So I do enjoy that they kind of changed the pace of the franchise a little bit. I also do enjoy that this movie does kind of have some balls when it comes to the story. It doesn't fully work for me, but I can always appreciate when someone tries to do something different. Regardless if it works or not, I can appreciate the ambition. I can appreciate them trying. And I like that this movie tries something. Whether it works for you or not, that's completely up to you. We'll always get more into what I feel about that in the cons, but I do appreciate that this movie tries to do something a little different. And probably finally, for pros, performances I do think are still pretty good across the board. Of course, Sigourney Weaver is still one of the best final girls. She is a little kind of, she gets brought down a little bit in terms of being a badass within this movie, unfortunately, and that's something I don't really like about it. But she still does give great performances. I do think there's some other characters that give good performances as well, that kind of complements Sigourney Weaver's Ripley. And I do enjoy the alien design when we get a practical design. There's a lot of CGI, which we'll get more later, but when we do get the actual practical puppet, I do think the design actually looks pretty good. It's a little bit different. Each iteration gives you a slightly different version of the alien, which I do enjoy. So I do think the alien design, for the most part, when it's practical, looks pretty good. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my cons. And let's talk about the biggest con here right off the bat, just because this is probably going to be a make or break moment for you when it comes to this movie. And for me, it always has been kind of a break moment, where it just gives you a big middle finger, a big fuck you to everything that happened in the previous two movies, where you have the first movie that they had no idea what the xenomorphs were. Sigourney Weaver, or Ripley, survives that attack, makes it to the corporate 40 some years later. They need her help again to fight off the xenomorphs. She finds this young girl and they save her. Again, big happy ending. Both movies are a happy ending, and they just completely wipe that slate clean, completely destroy everything that has happened in the previous two movies. Everything that you just loved about the two previous movies gets completely thrown out the window. Absolutely so disrespectful. And I just couldn't believe what they tried to do here. There's certain reasons probably why something like this had happened, and I'm sure because of the big gap between the two movies is one of them. If you guys never seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it, because it is something that you would want to watch on your own, because for some people this actually might be a nice change of pace, where you're like, wow, that's kind of a strong way to start this movie. For me, it's kind of like, are you fucking kidding me? That is not a way to start for me, in my opinion. I don't think this caps off this like beginning trilogy in a very good way. And I just don't think it was a great idea. It was ambitious. It was ballsy. I said I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the change in pace. I can appreciate the ballsiness, but I think it just completely ruins what we've seen in the previous two movies, which are held as two of the best of the franchise. And this movie just kind of taints that, and gives you a little bit of a distaste for everything of the way the timeline goes. Because now when you watch the previous two movies, you already know in your head that that ending is meaningless because of what happens in Aliens 3. So I think it's just kind of distasteful, and it doesn't work for me completely. Other things, I think, while I do enjoy us being in this kind of prison area, I don't think the characters that are in support of Ripley or are by Ripley really mean anything. They don't give you enough to kind of care for them. So when people start dying, you really don't care. These are a lot of bad people, and they give you examples of what their crimes are. And it's people that you would not sympathize with at all. So when people start dying, it doesn't really matter. And even the people that they try to make you sympathize with because they found a newer faith and are trying to better themselves, still don't give you a reason to really like them or really root for them. And you have this kind of little romance in the middle of the movie out of nowhere that honestly feels very awkward and doesn't really make any sense and doesn't really fit with Ripley's character like at all. And that's where I think they really missed the mark with Ripley's character in this movie, where they completely changed her in the way that she really is and how much of a badass she is. I think they really missed the mark. And then you have the alien that is just really awful looking. It has such a bad CGI green screen look to it. There's this really weird green glow around the alien at all times, and it has such a terrible special effect kind of cut and paste into whatever shot that the alien is in. I do think the effects are really the worst of the franchise so far at this moment, and I don't really see, I don't know, it's just one of those movies that just it constantly does something that I don't like. It does some things right, some things are interesting, and it does 3 to 4 times more that I don't like. And then we get to an ending that is interesting. Again, ambitious, ballsy. I can appreciate that, but I don't think it works. I don't think it makes it for a very satisfying ending. I don't think this movie really merits its existence. And for a director like David Fincher to do this movie and himself even say that this is his least favorite movie that he's ever done, that tells you a lot too. I'm sure there's people out there that really enjoy this movie. I'm sure there are, but in my opinion and from my viewing experience, this one is just a complete miss, really misses the mark, and I don't really like revisiting this movie that much. So that's my thoughts. But let me know what you guys think about Aliens 3 in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you guys like it? Do you guys not like it? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. But again, if you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, or video game related, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.